Hello everybody, I'm glad you could join me. This is the third time I'm recording this because when I record it and watch it, I don't really like everything I say or aren't satisfied. Not that I don't like it, I'm just not satisfied with what I said. To get the point across, I don't want to be too rude about anything, but I do want you guys to watch this to the end if you can. Stand me that long to watch to the end. But I want to talk about the snowstorm that went through Texas and caused people to lose power. I want to tell you that it not only affected those people in Texas, that storm and losing electricity. It affected a lot of people, and I think probably many of you, if not all of you, don't realize that. There's all, you ever heard the phrase cause and effect? Well, I'll give you a prime example. State of Texas, many parts of the state of Texas lost electricity. Some had it, some didn't. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think some of them that did have electricity, they would shut their power off and turn it back on and shut it off and turn it back on intermittently so they could send power to other parts of the state that didn't have power, try and get everybody some power. Well, the way it affected people around here where I'm at is we have a power company, a power plant that's right next door to where my wife works, Mid-America. And they called her place of employment, which is a big plant right next door, and asked them to slow down production. Well, this probably ain't the only place that done this, but this power plant was right next door, called and said, hey, can you slow down production so you're not using as much electricity? Well, the reason being that they're wanting to do that is they're wanting to send electricity down to Texas to help them people out. But I'm telling you, sending that electricity to Texas to try and help them out was fine and dandy, but it was costing them dearly. The people in Texas was getting charged up to 6,000% more for electricity during those 5 days for that emergency than what they did any other time when they were getting electricity. And a 6,000% increase in the cost. It's because all these power companies that was trying to help them out and sending electricity down there basically is price gouging as far as I'm concerned. But I'll tell you, that's what these big corporations do and such. Just like last year, seeds were hard to come by because the government wouldn't let some stores, they had seeds, they had them displayed in their stores, but they had them petitioned off where you couldn't shop in certain areas of the store because they weren't necessities, and seeds was one of them. I guess people don't need to eat. Well, that electricity that they were sending down to Texas, they were charging up to 6,000% increase in the cost of electricity. Well, that not only affected people in Texas, but affected people locally here right in Iowa. My sister lives 8 miles from me. She lives in Mapleton. The town of Mapleton buys their electricity from a power supplier like Mid-America, the power plant that's next door to my wife's place of employment. They purchase it from a power company like that one. I don't know if that's where they get it, but they get it from one like that. And then they charge their residents accordingly. Well, the power company that was sending them their electricity decided to help Texas out and send electricity down to Texas. And they were getting a premium price. They were getting that big markup for that electricity. Well, what'd they do? They charged the town of Mapleton the same rate. Why sell it to Mapleton at the regular price they've been getting at if they can send it down to Texas and get 6,000% increase, make more money for the same amount of product. So they sent the town of Mapleton the bill, same as they would have if you got the electricity down in Texas. For that 5-day period, the town of Mapleton, which the population's right at 1,100 or maybe just a little over, and 2019 it was population was 1,116 people. But anyway, so 1,100 people, it cost them $250,000 for 5 days. So I was trying to figure out the average cost of utility bills for the town of Mapleton per household. So not sure how many houses or businesses are in the town of Mapleton, but I figured up there was approximately, I just figured on an average of 3 people per household. And so I divided it into the 1,116, I think it was 1,116 is the number I used, people live in the town. So then that ended up coming up to 372 people, say. So anyhow, I went and divided that. Well, I actually ended up rounding that number up to just 400 businesses and houses, and divided 400 into that 250,000, and it was like $625 or $650 per household that it cost for those utilities for that 5 days. How are people going to pay a $650 a month utility bill? That's just for 5 days though. That's not counting what it actually had cost for the rest of the month, the first couple weeks of the month or the last week of the month. That's added in there too. That's just for those 5 days. So that's what's happening to our world. It's going to hell in a handbasket, people. It didn't only affect Texas, it affected a lot of us. I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. My brother come and picked up the sawmill, as some of you have seen. We have a potential buyer. We're almost positive we got it sold. So he had to come pick it up. He's going to be delivering it here in a few days. But that's what I had to do. I had to get it out of the field, start my skid loader, and get it moved out on the highway, because of course, as you can see, the field's full of snow and he's got 2-wheel drive pickup. And so I started up the old trusty skid loader and got it out on the highway and hooked it up to his truck. But anyways, what I was saying is the high electric bill or natural gas bill, utility bill that like Texas is going to see, you're seeing it elsewhere too. Some of you might know somebody that affected that lived in another state. If they're somebody that buy their power from another power off a certain power grid or something, they may see those high prices also, like the town of Mapleton that's 8 miles away from me. I know my sister's going to get hit with it big. I'm curious on what her bill's going to be. They had a special town meeting and set up. They had a town meeting Tuesday night, and they didn't tell the people how much each individual bill is going to be, just said that they're going to have a really high bill, and that they were, if you could afford to pay it all in full, to do so. If not, they were going to set up a 9-month payment plan. So they're going to be paying for the high bill for the next 9 months. So their electric bill is going to be, or utility bill, natural gas and electric, is going to be higher than what it normally is. But that's how it affects people. It didn't just affect Texas. It affected a lot of other people. And I'm sure the town of Mapleton is not the only town that buys their power from some big power company and that they're getting stuck with it, you know. Like I'd said, why sell it to Mapleton at the regular price when they can ship that electricity down the line to Texas and get 6,000%? They ain't gonna let them small towns that get it from them at the normal rate when they can sell it higher elsewhere. That's big corporations for you. They'll screw us every time. I'm telling you, them shutting down the pipeline and when I say them, the Democrats or Biden, them shutting down the pipelines has caused a lot of grief on a lot of families. A lot of people have lost jobs. And I don't know if you guys noticed in your area. I'm sure if you have, if you guys go anywhere and drive, the gas prices and fuel prices, diesel fuel prices have gone up. Every week I go to my sister's and eat supper with her on a Monday or Tuesday night, faithfully. Every week it's jumped a dime. Every week. Every Monday or Tuesday I go over there, it's up a dime. She's a block and a half from Casey's, and we drive right by there. Check the price. Me and my wife make it a habit to look, see what the price is. It's gone up 10 cents every week. My wife just went through Sloan on her way coming home from work the other night. She called me and said Sloan just jumped their diesel price up to $2.89 a gallon. It was like $2.60, and it went up to $2.89. And I'm afraid, people, it's going to climb a dime every week, and it's going to be out of this world. We need to stand up and fight for our country, get our country back. Because we ain't gonna be able to afford to live. You're gonna have to rely on yourselves. Plant gardens, grow your own food, you know, whether it's raising a few pigs, a few chickens, a calf, fatten up, butcher it. And of course that costs money when you feed them animals, so you might have to grow your food for them animals. I know a lot of people turn their chickens out in free range. Find ways to supplement the feed for your animals so it don't cost you as much to process your own animals or raise your own animals. I go over to the bean plant where my wife works, and the truck drivers empty their hoppers, and a lot of you have seen me do it. I go and pick up that feed that they spill along the road or dump along the road. The soybeans, sometimes there's corn. My wife was just looking last night, and there's some piles I need to run over and get, and there's actually a pile of some kind of pellets, like whether it's alfalfa pellets or some kind of feed product, that one of the truck drivers emptied a hopper, and there's some piles of pellets. So I need to go over and get that kind of stuff, but you're gonna have to do something. It's gonna be rough for everybody, and I hope that none of you got affected with that high utility bill, but some of you might be. Some of my followers might be from Texas, but I'm sure you know somebody, or know somebody that knows somebody that got affected by it. I didn't expect my sister to be getting stuck with high electric bill, gas bill, but she's going to. And I don't know, I might have to come forth and try and help her out. Help her get it paid off. You know, me and my wife, we've been fighting really hard trying to get our mortgage paid down. It was $6,400. We're really close to having that paid off. And then I don't have no house payment, no car payment. I have another property I'm selling on contract, so I do have that money coming in. My wife works a full-time job, so we're blessed. But you know, and I raise chickens. I get my own eggs. I have a few pigs. I got meat in the freezer, but not a lot of people aren't fortunate like that. So I don't know, just be aware of things, and let's try and get our country back. Enough rambling for now, but I'm gonna let you go. And don't forget, I love each and every one of you. See you later. Bye.